Welcome to my video. I am going to be changing out the laser lens on the OMTech K40. So first you want to unscrew this and make sure your machine is off. And as you can see, I put down some microfiber cloth. Just unscrew this. Inside of this is your lens. Be gentle with it, and the reason I put this down so I don't scratch or damage my lens. And then you can use rubbing alcohol. The higher percent of alcohol, the better. And I just use a second microfiber cloth. I like to use tweezers to pick up my lenses, just so I'm not smudging them or potentially scratching them, and that way I'm just grabbing them right on the edges. Then I just use the rubbing alcohol, clean it up, and then wipe off any excess on a clean portion of the microfiber. And as you can see, it's nice and clean. Small little lens, so you got to be careful not to drop it. Here's the lens I will be swapping out with. And this is just so we can work on some 40-ounce tumblers, so we have more range. Then I will put the one we took out away in the casing from the new one, just so it stays nice and clean and ready for next time. And I did previously clean this new lens that I just pulled out, so it doesn't need to be cleaned, but I will grab it with my pliers. Now when you look into the lens, you should be able to see yourself on one side, then on the other side you shouldn't be able to see yourself. It should be very distorted. Hard to show in the camera. So you want the side where it looks like a magnifying glass, where you can kind of see yourself pretty well. You want that to actually face down into the tube, because that is what is focusing all of your power onto your material that you're engraving. And very often it won't get in there quite straight, so I use the back side of my tweezers and tap, and it just flipped on me, so I might have to pull it out if it doesn't correct itself. Yep, so I'm looking down my tube there. I can tell that it is in upside down just because I can see myself very clearly in the lens. So what I'll do is just dump that out gently, pick it up again, look at both sides, see which one I can see myself in. The one you can see yourself in, once again, goes downward into the tube. And it's a very delicate process, and it flipped again, so sometimes you can just tap your housing to get it to flip. And the reason I'm tapping it is just to get it to sit flat in there. Alright, now this time it did sit properly. I could not see myself in the lens, so it is facing the proper direction this time. I will take this small ring and just clean it off with the same microfiber cloth, just to make sure there's no dirt or debris going back in. And that's pretty easy. That doesn't really have to sit one way or the other. It just sits right on top of the actual lens to hold it into place. Then you just screw this back on. Here's your ring that you put back over it so you can attach it back to the rest of it. And it's that easy to swap out lenses and clean the actual lens. I will disconnect this and clean my mirrors now, which I should have done before that, but as you can see, it's a pretty painless process just to set this off to the side. I use Q-tips, cotton Q-tips with that same alcohol, rubbing alcohol, just high alcohol content. I just clean up the mirror a little bit on all of these just to keep them fresh, keep dirt and grime off. And I try not to use a Q-tip on more than 1 or 2 mirrors at a time, and then I just toss it. As you can see, I have a few extra here. I'll get some more rubbing alcohol on them. And I reach back here and try to get the mirror back in the back of the machine. And you're gonna have to learn how to kind of just feel for a lot of the mirrors. But it's a pretty painless process. That's the very easy maintenance. Now you can disassemble a lot more of your machine and get in there and clean up a lot more of the little things, but we didn't run very many projects, so this is just a very basic cleaning tutorial.